you believe in love at first sight, you never stop looking. Julia Roberts, Jude Law, Natalie Portman, and Clive Owen star in Mike Nichols' Closer. This is Boy Party. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of Boy Party. My name is Lucian, and I'm joined as always by Shane.
Good evening.
We're two of four lovers in a crossing of streams. Mm-hmm. Everyone's stories are intersecting.
We love each other. We hate each other. We cheat on each other.
And I can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you. There are slightly too many songs with the lyric, I can't take my eyes off of you. And this song is just so inferior to the Andy Williams banger, You're Just Too Good to Be True, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You.
Yeah, that's true.
That it's like, well, why would you just make that the focal point of
also,
your song?
it's like quite difficult to replicate Damien Rice's voice.
Oh, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Where's Damien Rice from? Like,
Don't know.
Where in Ireland is he from? I wonder if we know anyone who sounds more like him than
this man is definitely from like Dundalk.
He is from Dublin.
Yeah.
Selbridge. He's from Selbridge. He went to Silesian College. And he's related to David Arnold, the film composer.
Ah.
And he is 50 now. So he was 30 when this came out. Bad how people just get old, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this film has a weird Irish link, I guess, which is that it features Damien Rice very prominently, and then also a bit of Lisa Hannigan. Why Mike Nichols felt that this Irish man's voice was the perfect sort of way to establish the tone of his rambling romantic drama, I don't know, but he did, because he really bangs the...
As you said, I think that song runs for 11 minutes of...
Probably of the film, because it plays for about 2 or 3 minutes at the start.
At least.
Then it plays for about 4 minutes over the last scene of the film.
Yeah.
And then it plays all over again for the entirety of the end credits.
Yeah.
So it just runs 3 times the whole way through, basically, with a bit of mixing here and there. That song being The Blower's Daughter, which I don't like, and I don't like it in the film. I think it's very annoying. A lot of things in this film that I find very annoying. The film is Closer, and this film is directed by Mike Nichols. It's written by Patrick Marber, adapted from his play, Closer. It is a weird Anglo-American kind of thing where it's very, very British.
Yeah.
It's set in London, but it's an American filmmaker, and it's
2 American
actresses, 2 British actors, and it does kind of exist at the intersection of American and British theatrical writing and acting, I would say.
Yeah.
In ways that I find to be frustrating and tough to get on board with.
But I think this film would be like 30% more annoying if it was like set in America.
You think so?
I think
set
so.
in New York?
I think so.
Why?
I don't know.
I find England to be an annoying setting for things that aren't particularly good.
I think annoying things in an English setting strike a different part of my brain than annoying things in an American setting.
Do you find these American women in a British setting are easier to buy into than if they were in an American setting? I don't know.
Maybe.
That the British men are easier to hate. And
yeah, sorry, that's it. I think it's more from the men's side,
yeah.
Where like when a British person annoys me, it inspires hatred in me.
Yes.
Whereas an American, it inspires annoyance.
Yes.
Where I just get fed up with it.
And maybe
whereas
this film is more effective because you hate the men because they're in Britain.
Yeah, potentially.
Maybe. So we're discussing Closer on the podcast because Closer is a fun 4-way boy party.
Yeah.
I like these very much like this movie only has 4 speaking parts and it is 4 big stars and that's the movie. Enjoy. Another example that we're definitely going to do soon is the movie Carnage. Similarly, based on a play. Very easy to write a play with only 4 roles in it. Harder to make a film with only 4 roles in it. Carnage is, of course, Jodie Foster, John C. Reilly, Kate Winslet, and Christoph Waltz. And is kind of a similar enough one to this of just like there are 2 couples and they're arguing, whatever. But that's all set in one room. This This is a bit more dynamic. It takes place over a longer period of time. There are scenes that take place in cafes and in strip clubs and in apartments and on the street, although not as many as I would have liked to set outdoors. And basically we see 4 characters over and back intersecting with one another in every possible combination. And you basically get to sit back and enjoy and see which of these combinations are the most toxic and which ones are slightly less toxic. Do we finish the film with an ideal best case scenario pairing out of this group of characters?
No.
I think you and I kind of felt that Clive Owen and Natalie Portman was the least toxic of the 4 pairings.
In its own way, in that I think both of them demonstrated the most ability to take into account someone else's feelings.
Yeah. I feel like the fact that their interaction mostly takes place in a strip club where he is the customer and she is performing is almost the film deliberately
trying to equalize the power dynamic.
Yes, or it's almost as if like because it's on surface level, it is the most unhealthy interaction in the film. It is this, paying for a lap dance dynamic situation where you're like, oh god, that's obviously not good. That's not healthy. But in fact, if you dig a little bit deeper, you realize that that's probably a healthier interaction than any of the other
because I think the two of them both seem to be very actively trying to figure out why things are going wrong.
Yeah, whereas the other two are just YOLO, like
just horrible people who are completely self-interested. Yeah. And Clive Owen and Natalie Portman are the characters that were cheated on.
Yes,
that initially started this whole thing. So
now he's slimy. She doesn't really do anything wrong.
No.
So Julia Roberts plays Anna. Jude Law plays Dan. Natalie Portman plays Alice. And Clive Owen plays Larry. There's not much to say about these 4 characters. Julia Roberts is sort of a little bit of an older generation than the others. Just feels a little bit more of a maturer character, I suppose. Yeah. What's her deal?
She's a photographer / she's a photographer.
Yeah. Jude Law is a sort of what is he? He's writing a book.
Yeah, he's an author. He's
just like a little slimy guy. Natalie Portman is a stripper in part of the film. She's the youngest and she reads younger. She's kind of just a woman in her 20s living life, trying to...
Yeah, she came over from New York, just kind of wandering around.
She's the most innocent by default by virtue of being noticeably younger. Portman, when this was made, would have been 23. God, very young. Whereas the others were all a little bit older. I mean, Jude Law is probably not that much older. He would be... Sorry, Jude Law is actually younger than Natalie Portman.
Interesting.
Wait, no, he's not. He's 10 years older than her.
How
can't
did you
read.
get that wrong?
He was born in 1972, and she was born in 1981. Sorry, I got those wrong. And then Clive Owen plays... And then Larry is like, he's boring fucking accounting
No,
guy.
He's a doctor.
Oh, sorry. You're right. He's a dermatologist.
He's a dermatologist.
An accounting guy. What am I talking about?
No,
he's a dermatologist. You're right. But he's a man with a desk.
Yes.
They intersect in various ways, mostly through sexual encounters with each other. I don't enjoy watching any of that really pan out because there's no positive, loving romance, any of that in these interactions.
No, the entire motivation behind Jude Law's character is just weird conquesty types things where he just wants the next thing because he's not satisfied once he's settled with something.
Yeah, Clive Owen's a little bit more standard in his motivations, but he's also just a bit slimy and he's not a very interesting guy.
But he's also like the most interesting guy.
He's the most interesting performance.
Yes.
I don't know if the character on the page is the most interesting.
No, like he seems pretty happy, like, to be honest, in his relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, he meets Julia Roberts in a very funny way.
Yes.
Which we'll get to the plot in a minute.
All right, okay. Well, I will tell you some fun stuff about it. So the play that Patrick Marber wrote has been seen by some as a modern version of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's 1790 opera. I'm going to butcher this. Così fan tutte? with references to the opera in both the plot and the soundtrack. Now, would you, in a million years from watching this film, think that it was an adaptation of a Mozart opera? I mean, it kind of answers a lot of questions about why it is so fucking unimpenetrable and abstract in its ideas that it's based on a classic opera that I've never seen. I mean, like...
I did see several Mozart tracks pop up in the credits at the end, so I was like, oh, Mozart.
That's why.
Yeah.
It's the only way a commercial American film could have this little specificity to the storytelling, in my opinion, is that it is based on a very, very old piece of text.
Yeah, and if there's any story older than time itself, it's a young man wants younger woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, no. It's then he wants older woman?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Then he wants younger woman again. Who knows?
Who knows? So the play in the National Theatre, when it first opened in 1997, in the role of Dan, played in this film by Jude Law, was Mr. Clive Owen.
Yeah.
He played the Jude Law role on stage.
Interesting.
Alice was played by Liza Walker. Anna was played by Sally Dexter. And the role of Larry was played by Mr. Ciarán Hinds.
Ah, fantastic.
Now, that is excellent.
That is really great.
And I think it's really fun that they gave the Jude Law part... They gave Clive Owen... Sorry, they gave the Jude... Yeah, the Clive Owen role in the play was given to Jude Law, slightly younger, because it was 7 years later at that point. And then they gave the Ciarán Hinds role to Clive Owen. I think Ciarán Hinds and Clive Owen are very similar actors.
Yeah, they've similar... shaped heads.
Yeah, similar weird vibes, and I would love to see this with Ciarán Hinds.
I think Ciarán Hinds doing the online activities would be so absolutely outstanding.
It then later they replaced Clive Owen in that role with Mark Strong.
Sure.
Who I do like as well. I mean, Mark Strong has always existed a little bit in the shadow of Jude Law, which is kind of a shame. And then later Rupert Graves played Dan, Tasha Richardson played Anna, Anna Friel played Alice. Ciarán Hinds was in it a couple more times. They did a French production. There was a production in California with Maggie Gyllenhaal as Alice, Rebecca De Mornay as Anna. Nothing else particularly exciting. The film's legacy in popular culture includes, now this might explain why you were recognizing this dialogue. Panic at the Disco have 2 songs on their 2005 album. One is called Lying is the Most Fun a Girl Can Have Without Taking Her Clothes Off.
Yeah.
And the other one is called But It's Better If You Do. So you were familiar with this line.
Yes.
I imagine that is because it is the name of a Panic at the Disco song.
But again, it's just like a common phrase that appears on like novelty shit you hang in your kitchen, like
Lying is the most fun a girl can have.
It's a big birthday card slogan. Big women's birthday card.
I'm not familiar with it.
Really?
As a birthday card slogan. No.
Yeah, it's just like sure.
Larry's line to Dan, "Have you ever seen a human heart? It looks like a fist wrapped in blood," is used by Canadian post-hardcore band Silverstein as a title to the song "Fist Wrapped in Blood."
Very good. So sorry, this is the origin of this is
yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like it. The play is.
Yes.
It's not the film.
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy have also quoted the film in a song. Why did it go down so well with these
the Panic at the Disco,
these trash fucking pop punk bands? I don't understand.
They seem like the types that would just adore the Natalie Portman character in this and just became obsessed with it.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I just think this film is so boring. I don't know why anyone stupider than me would embrace it.
They just saw the strip club scene on YouTube. And
they must have just seen it and been like, oh,
because that is the scene where she says it.
Yes. I mean, yes. The strip club scene is certainly more accessible than the rest of the film to the stupid people of the world. As I said, I think Natalie Portman in the pink wig in the strip club has a very similar vibe to basically the entire Scarlett Johansson performance in Lost in Translation, of just a very 2004 idea of a cool young woman that I think that image would be embraced and would last. And Natalie Portman in Garden State falls into that as well. So we want to spend 2 minutes talking about the plot. If you had some points to make.
Okay, I'll run through it really quickly.
I think you understood this film better than me, even though I've seen it twice. I just cannot focus on it.
I was kind of enjoying it, so I think I tuned into it.
So boring.
Anyway,
you go ahead.
Film opens, Natalie Portman, Jude Law walking in opposite directions, slow motion down the street. They make eye contact. Damien Rice is "Can't Take My Eyes Off of You" is playing for like 3 solid minutes, and Natalie Portman gets hit by a car very suddenly, which is amusing. She's fine, nothing wrong with her, and Jude Law helps her to the hospital, and they become romantically involved. Yada yada. Jumps forward a year. Jude Law is doing a photo shoot for his new book, and Julia Roberts is the photographer. And he makes advances on her. She rejects him. The next funny gag is that he learns that Julia Roberts likes to go to the aquarium to watch people. So he strikes up a conversation on a Russian sex chat website where he is...
I can't find any evidence online of the Russian element, by the way.
Okay.
I think the version we watched to this was in Russian. No one else seems to see it like that.
Okay.
Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, so there's a 5-minute scene where Jude Law and Clive Owen are chatting online in Russian. All we see is the text on screen.
Yeah.
You can make inferences of what the words are based on kind of the punctuation. Anyway, he sets up a prank so that Clive Owen will show up to the aquarium, see Julia Roberts, and be like, "You're trying to sleep with me, aren't you? You were texting me last night," and whatever. That spirals into Julia Roberts and Clive Owen getting married. Then it just kind of swings around where Jude Law still wants to get with Julia Roberts, and then Clive Owen kind of becomes a little bit obsessed with Natalie Portman. And it just kind of bounces around with that for the rest of the film.
Yeah, it doesn't really go anywhere.
Doesn't really.
Bits and pieces like that.
What happens at the end? Natalie Portman moves back to the US. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts and Clive Owen continue their marriage, and Jude Law is just a sad little man.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Not a satisfying conclusion at all.
Not really.
He also, Jude Law hits Natalie Portman at the end, which I guess is meant to be some moment of like, he can never go back from this.
Sure.
This is the point he's gotten to.
Yeah. Yeah, Jude Law is like, Dan is the worst and least interesting character in this.
Oh,
it's remarkably one-dimensional. It's just not a person. Like,
if any actor less interesting than Jude Law, or like any less watchable than Jude Law was in the role, you'd zone out within 5 minutes. Like,
yeah.
So we obviously had a conversation when it was on of 2024 recasting, 20 years later. We do. So I said Natalie Portman as Anna.
Yeah.
So this is, folks, Natalie Portman in the Julia Roberts role 20 years later.
Okay, like sense. We had this conversation 2 days ago. Yesterday, a photo came to light that
of Paul Mescal and Natalie Portman hanging out smoking, and we had suggested Paul Mescal to play Dan,
and I disagreed. I was like, maybe not, but I think after seeing that, it's kind of now I see it.
So Natalie Portman is Anna, Paul Mescal is Dan, Riz Ahmed you had as Larry. And maybe
no, I was.
The Ciarán Hinds thing now is throwing me off.
Yeah, we'll just throw Ciarán Hinds in there anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, might as well.
No, it has to be someone a bit younger.
Aidan Gillen.
No.
We did see him on the
somebody
street
under. It has to be somebody just under 40.
Okay, it's just under 40.
Like Riz Ahmed's a fine placeholder, but there's definitely better options. Like British actors in their late 30s.
And who we said? Kaylee Spaney then maybe.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, anyone.
She's just kind of very young looking.
She's got Natalie Portman vibes a little bit. Anyone
throw Sydney Sweeney in there. Who cares?
No. She doesn't. She's a different, completely different type.
Yeah,
it has to be someone very like brown hair energy. Like.
Brown hair energy. Okay.
No, I think Kaylee Spaney's a good option. Yeah, anyone who's like early 20s and has brown hair. I'm like blanking on like anyone else who fits that description right now. Mm-hmm. You could also just go nuts and cast like YOUUUU in that role.
Oh yeah, that'd be funny.
I don't know if it would be good in a film like this, but
no, like the Natalie Portman character is like remarkably sincere in this, and just like in her pursuit of love with Jude Law, and it's kind of
she's Natalie Portman. She's trying her best.
It's her downfall.
So in terms of our cast and their various accomplishments.
Yeah, like sorry, we can't talk about this film more because nothing really happens.
No,
like
the we'll move on to our meta conversations. Yes. So the billing is Julia Roberts, Jude Law, Natalie Portman, Clive Owen. Julia Roberts, Academy Award winner at this point, won her Oscar 3 years prior for Erin Brockovich, another very boring film. I think the rest are probably just billed alphabetically, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can you tell me which of our 4 leads has the biggest box office gross?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman, correct answer. $8.9 billion. Because she is in Avengers Endgame. Now, I would argue that...
is she?
She did not shoot any new footage for Avengers Endgame. That was previously used footage from Thor: The Dark World. So I would argue that that shouldn't count.
Yeah.
And we're going to shave 2.7 billion off of that number, which brings us down to 6.2, which means, in that case, that Julia Roberts would be our winner, and Jude Law would be in second place, and Natalie would only be in third. So there we go. That completely changes the game.
Yeah. Okay.
Julia Roberts.
Look, I didn't consider Natalie Portman as being in Endgame when I made my guess there. So,
like, I would argue that her role in Endgame does not absolutely.
No, she did not show up.
She did not show up to set for that.
No.
Julia Roberts' films have made $6.5 billion, even though her highest grossing film has only made $450 million, which means that there is no one or two big blockbusters that are skewing this like there are with the other guys, which to me is sort of the definition of a very legitimate movie star.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Is if your total box office is absolutely enormous and it is based on an average split evenly between many moderately to largely
and she
films.
is probably the lead of everything.
Here are big movies that she has been in. Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
She's obviously not quite the lead of that, but that's a $450 million.
She in Ocean's 11.
She's in 11 and
12. She has a bigger role in
12. She's in the two of those. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember in 11.
Pretty Woman, $430 million. Notting Hill, $360 million. Ocean's 12. Wonder, about the kid with the weird face.
Oh,
$310 million grossing film. Her, Owen Wilson, and Jacob Tremblay. Runaway Bride, $310. Hook, she's not the lead in that. She plays Tinkerbell, $300. My Best Friend's Wedding, $300 million. Erin Brockovich, $257 million, wins an Oscar. Eat, Pray, Love, $206 million. The Pelican Brief, $187. Sleeping with the Enemy, $174. Mirror, Mirror, $173. Ticket to Paradise, recently, $168. American Sweethearts, $160. Stepmom, $159. The Mexican, $145.
Ticket to Paradise still made $168.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
We got Conspiracy Theory, Mona Lisa Smile, Charlie Wilson's War, and Closer, all made over $100 million.
This film made over $100 million.
This film made $116 million.
Good Lord.
On a budget of $27 million.
A four-actor stationary film based on a Mozart play.
Yeah, I think that is Julia Roberts' pull in 2004.
Good God.
That is, none of these other actors are bringing that money in.
No.
Like, they help, definitely. Like Jude Law and Natalie Portman especially. And they all three of them were very popular at that point. But she brought this out right in between Mona Lisa Smile and Ocean's 12. Ocean's 12 actually came out the week after, which is really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then she doesn't make another movie for she doesn't make another movie for 3 years after Ocean's 12 and this. So this is her last film, basically, for 3 years. And it's a huge, huge hit. And she was absolutely pulling in incredible numbers around that time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real star. Jude Law is someone I'd like to talk about a bit more in future on episodes we're going to do about stuff like Contagion. But he was obviously 4 years on from The Talented Mr. Ripley, in which he is one of the most beautiful any man has ever been in a film at this point. His box office gross is $6.3 billion. His biggest movie is the Marvel classic Captain Marvel, followed by Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Dumbledore, in which, to be fair, he is at least played...
Sorry, there's a film called The Crimes of Dumbledore.
Sorry. Secrets of Dumbledore. Apologies.
Yeah.
Then the two Sherlock Holmes movies that he's in with Robert Downey.
Yeah.
Then Fantastic Beasts, the Crimes of Grindelwald made more money than the other one. I got those mixed up. These are not real movies. The biggest real Jude Law movie is Spielberg's Artificial Intelligence, which came out 3 years before Closer, and that made $235 million. And that was obviously very crucial in firing him into the atmosphere as a real star. In 2004, he appeared in Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, I Heart Huckabees, Alfie, Closer, The Aviator, and A Series of Unfortunate Events. Too many movies to be in 1 year. Like, they came out in September, October, November, December. So that means there was there was effectively 4 or 5 Jude Law films in the cinema at the same time.
Yeah.
Nobody should ever be that overexposed.
That is bizarre.
Ridiculous. And I don't think that's happened since. I don't think there has been a single actor since then where you could go to a cinema and there are 4 of their films playing at the same time.
Two is unusual now, even. 2
is very unusual now. But like, and they're none of them are bad. Like, if you could go to a cinema right now and you could watch Alfie, Closer, The Aviator, and A Series of Unfortunate Events, I'd be like, that's not a bad weekend.
No.
Like, so that's his deal. And then after that year, he makes All the King's Men, The Holiday, Breaking and Entering, Sleuth, and then he goes weird and makes weird stuff for the rest of his career, basically. And we're all the better for it. I wish he would stop being in stuff like Fantastic Beasts. It's a waste of his time.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman was obviously in the middle of her Star Wars prequel era at the time. Her biggest hits are, of course, those Star Wars movies and the Thors. But to be fair, and to give her some credit as a real star, Black Swan made $330 million.
Yep.
That is hugely impressive. That is like, if you win the Best Actress Oscar and the movie makes $330 million, and it is like a weird genre play, original concept, like that.
And you don't think that was being carried by newly announced Knives Out 3 actress Mila Kunis?
By beloved defender of criminals
and
Mila
Israel
Kunis.
Probably.
Yes, of Israel as well.
Ugh.
I don't think Mila Kunis was quite bringing in the millions around the time of Black Swan, but it certainly did a lot for her career. But
very much so.
Huge hit for Natalie Portman. She's in Cold Mountain with Jude Law, apparently. I didn't realize she was in that. No Strings Attached. Her and Mila Kunis' husband, Ashton Kutcher. $150 million. That film came out about 6 weeks after Black Swan. So she was in films with Kutcher and Kunis within a few weeks. Isn't it weird how few surnames there are that begin with K, and Kutcher and Kunis are married to each other? KU, in fact. It's also occurring to me that, like, No Strings Attached is a very bad movie. It came out just while she was in the middle of her Oscar campaign.
I was always under the impression that was the inferior version of Friends with Benefits, which also has Mila Kunis. The other
one. My ranking of them would be number 1, Friends with Benefits, slightly. Number 2, No Strings Attached, and then number 3, Love and Other Drugs.
Yeah. Do you really just like Love and Other Drugs?
Awful, like.
Yeah.
Her best friend in No Strings Attached is Greta Gerwig, which is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of
Richard Jenkins in Friends with Benefits.
Yeah, Richard Jenkins and Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Whereas No Strings Attached, Love and Other Drugs, the supporting cast is like Josh Gad, and that's it.
Oh yeah, okay.
She is her other big hits: V for Vendetta, The Other Berlin Girl, my beloved Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium,
of course.
Brothers, the Jim Sheridan movie. These aren't really hits. Now we're down into kind of the flop territory. She almost won her second Oscar for Jackie, was beaten by Emma Stone in La La Land, which I think we can all agree was the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll discuss her again in the future on the podcast. I really love Natalie Portman, and I hate when Natalie Portman cries in a movie. It makes me so sad. Did we watch something else where she cried the other day, or was it this? No, it was this.
I think it was just this, yeah.
Yeah. I find her to be someone where I hate to see her upset, and it makes me upset when she is.
Yeah.
She is 42 years old. That is nuts.
Stop making Natalie Portman cry.
Yeah, stop it.
Stop it, world.
So they're all up in the $6 billion range with their box offices. Clive Owen, his movies have made $1.8 billion.
A respectable 1.8.
He's an unsuccessful leading man experiment.
Yeah.
But you know what? He is the star of one of the most well-regarded studio films of the last 25 years.
Yep.
And that film only made $69 million worldwide. It is Children of Men.
How does Children of Men make $60 million less than Closer?
I know.
Well,
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, Julia Roberts, I guess.
His biggest movies are Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
Oof.
The Bourne Identity, which I forgot he was in.
Yeah,
the King Arthur movie that he was the lead in, which came out 6 months before Closer, with Keira Knightley. Inside Man, where he is the villain and is very good. Gemini Man, where he is the villain and is very bad. Sin City, which I think is he in the second one, Or is he, no? Yeah, he is in the second one as well. And then Duplicity and Killer Elite, Gosford Park, The International. These are all crap. He's having a big comeback now on TV because he is a talented dramatic actor.
He's a real guy who
that's
do well
where
on TV.
You thrive. So he was Bill Clinton in the impeachment American crime story miniseries opposite Beanie Feldstein, and he was okay. It was a cartoonish, fake nose. He was doing a voice.
Yeah.
But now he's in this show called Monsieur Spade, which is a Sam Spade noir detective show. And according to everyone I know who's watching it, it's really good, and he's really good in it. So I'm delighted for him. He's turning 60 this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, nice to see him settle into having his little TV character actor thing.
This film did come out in an unusual period where, like, the characters, all four of them playing it, I still have the idea of them in my head as like, this is who they are now.
Yes,
and now you're talking about them all as they're mid-40s, they're 60. I'm like, oh, they're getting old.
It's crazy that Clive Owen is like 19 years older than Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
But also, it's kind of a bummer that Clive Owen really has not progressed in any way in our imaginations since the time of
it's like these guys now they're beyond their potential for being the very powerful leading 45-year-old man.
Yeah.
Like, they're beyond that now.
Clive Owen just didn't work out for him in any real significant way, where like Jude Law got kind of a run of 4 or 5 years where he was the guy. He was the guy, and Clive Owen was never the guy.
Yeah.
There was never a film that he was the lead in that probably wasn't offered to some combination of Jude Law, Colin Farrell,
Colin Firth, even probably.
Colin Firth, these guys, Daniel Craig, obviously, first. Obviously, most crucially, that Clive Owen really, really wanted to be James Bond.
Oh, really?
When they were casting Casino Royale.
Yeah.
And I don't even think he came second for it, because I think Henry Cavill came second for it. I think he was already too old at that point. Like, when Casino Royale was being made, he was 41. And I think they wanted somebody under 40.
Yeah.
Like, Daniel Craig is maybe 4 or 5 years younger than him, but that was
made a big difference.
I think he already looks older in this than Craig does.
He does have kind of an old face.
He has an old face, but he has like an old movie star face.
That's what I mean when I say old face. Old-fashioned face, yeah.
Whereas Craig is like a bit more of a... Daniel Craig is a very like modern 2000s face.
Yeah, I can imagine Clive Owen in black and white.
Yes, exactly. Which is why he's so perfect for like old-timey noir detective stuff. And Sin City, to be fair, like did cast him in that role 20 years ago. But yeah, it's just a bummer. He missed out on Bond in 06, and then by the time, of course, I mean, there hasn't been another Bond since Daniel Craig was cast, so that's it. Everyone who was in their 30s or 40s in 2006 when Casino Royale was being made is now too old.
I am not sad he didn't get Bond.
No, it's fine. But Craig being Bond is a net positive for us.
Yes, absolutely.
But I feel like Daniel Craig would have made more interesting stuff if Clive Owen had got Bond than Clive Owen made when Craig got Bond.
Sure.
The Daniel Craig filmography of 2006 to 2024
could have been great.
Would have been amazing, potentially.
It's crazy he had 5 of them.
Yeah. And almost nothing else in those 20 years, apart from the 2 Benoit Blancs and
Dragon Tattoo,
and then a heap of shite like Cowboys and Aliens and Mission or the Invasion.
As if he needed the money.
Yep. So those are our 4 stars of Closer.
Yep.
Have we anything left to say about this film?
Who wins? Clive Owen wins.
Clive Owen wins. He's having a bit more fun than everybody else.
He's having a lot more fun. His character is by far the most interesting and seems to have some sort of arc where he's like trying to come to terms with the fact that he's kind of your typical perfect man.
Yeah.
And he's starting to feel insecure about his brutishness and hyper masculinity, and he becomes very aware of that, and like starts to feel bad. Yeah. Natalie
Portman's fine. That is that is a harmless performance. She's never bad.
Like, that could be... All these performances could be remarkably annoying if they weren't done by incredibly likable big movie stars.
Yeah.
She's fine. I like her. I think she's...
Yeah. The other important fact I didn't share is that the Julia Roberts role was Cate Blanchett until quite late in the game.
Oh.
And Cate Blanchett...
I think that would make more sense.
Yeah. Cate Blanchett pulled out because she got pregnant, and I think that would be a better film with Cate Blanchett in it.
I absolutely did not buy the chemistry between Jude Law and Julia Roberts at all. There was absolutely nothing there.
I think Cate Blanchett has the potential to have chemistry with almost everybody.
Yes,
she's in a movie with, and I think that would definitely work.
I think
a little bit better.
She would be a better counterpart to like a sleazy Jude Law kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Are we doing the credits game? Or
we'll do both. So I've sent you the box office there.
Yeah, I had it pulled up in advance.
And I am going to quiz Shane on the credits game. So I'm going to go from bottom to top on the credits as listed on Letterboxd of a film starring one of the boys from this movie, and see how fast that he can guess.
Yep.
So
give me a year as usual.
I'll give you the year. The year is going to be 2014.
2014.
And let's go. Marcel Mazur, Wallace Wolodarski, Fisher Stevens, Bob Balaban,
Fisher Stevens. Okay.
Florian Lucas, Giselda Volodi, Larry Pine, Tony Revolori, Owen Wilson.
Okay, that's. Did you give me a year?
2014.
2014 with Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Ba. Keep going.
Tom Wilkinson, Tilda Swinton.
Okay. Interesting pairing there. My old Michael Clayton gang.
Yeah, want to keep going? That is true that they're the Michael Clayton gang.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
Léa Seydoux.
Is this Ghost Protocol?
No.
How? Okay.
Tilda Swinton and Owen Wilson are not.
Yeah, I know. I just heard Tom. I heard Tom Wilkinson. I had in my head.
That's also not 2014. Want to keep going?
Yeah, I know.
Jason Schwartzman.
Jason Schwartzman. Yeah.
Saoirse Ronan.
Okay, we gotta stall that there. Is this like the Grand Budapest Hotel or something?
Yeah, correct. The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Nice.
This is such a great cast. Come on. This is who's still to come.
That's outrageous.
Names I haven't even read out yet.
Yeah.
Edward Norton.
Oof.
Bill Murray. Jude Law. Harvey Keitel. Jeff Goldblum. Willem Dafoe. Adrian Brody. Matthew Al Malik. F. Murray Abraham. And Ray Fiennes.
Outrageous.
Now that was alphabetical from Abraham to Wilson was alphabetical, which is why they were going in a weird order.
Yeah.
All right. The box office.
Le box office.
So this film came out on December 3rd, 2004 in limited release, and it expanded on the 17th, but we'll do the weekend of the 3rd. And it opened to 7 million with a per theater average of 16,000 in 476 screens. This is a time in the history of film that I am very familiar with.
Oh,
half of my favorite films were out at this time. So
three of the four films above this are like
my
all-timers for
5-star Lucian films. Yeah.
Maybe not 5-star,
so I have to
they're
put them in order.
Essential films in the lore of
all right.
Mr. Wadaly.
So I'm just going to have to put them in.
Oh, wow. Even, yeah. Oh.
I'm just going to have to put them in order, basically. Okay.
Number 1.
Is it a Christmas movie?
No.
Okay. Is it a... Okay. So number 1. Is it animated?
Nope.
Okay. Is this movie National Treasure?
It is National Treasure.
Perfect. The masterpiece, John Turteltaub's masterpiece, National Treasure. Fantastic. Great news.
Number 2 is a Christmas movie.
Number 2 is The Polar Express.
No, it's not.
Oh, Christmas with the Cranks.
Christmas with the Cranks.
No, I don't like that film.
Tim Allen.
That's awful. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, though.
Yeah.
I like Tim Allen in Christmas movies, but unfortunately, Jamie Lee Curtis is also in it. So it is bad. Because she's
a real TV3 film. It's one of their staples.
Yeah, I would consider it to be quite an RTE film as well.
I guess.
It's just a film that's very cheap to license for
100%.
TV. Yeah.
Just in the rotation.
It's shite. It's absolutely like bad Christmas film. No one should watch it. It doesn't deserve to be remembered just for being a Christmas film.
I think it's remembered purely because Tim Allen is coming off Santa Claus and is in another Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up, you've mentioned it already.
I've mentioned what?
This film already in the third one.
I've mentioned it already.
Yeah.
When did I mention it?
Polar Express.
I didn't mention it.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I did. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
The Polar Express. My most watched film ever.
Yep.
I've seen it 20 times.
20 times.
That is my record.
Christmas Day tradition.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. Sure.
I've watched that film every Christmas Eve since 2005. Plus in the cinema when it came out. So 20
Very
times. Good. Yeah.
Do you know what number 4 is?
Is it the SpongeBob SquarePants movie?
No.
Is it The Incredibles?
It is The Incredibles.
Oh, we were so Oh, we were just drowning in good times.
Oh, incredible.
The good thing is that I did see most of these in the cinema. I saw The Incredibles.
Sorry, so you would have been 7 when these were coming out.
7, yeah.
7.
This was the wonderful year. It's the best year.
Anyway. And it stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Next up is historical period piece.
Troy.
No, the other one.
Alexander. Colin Farrell and Jared Leto.
CF.
I started watching it last year. I intend on finishing it, but I haven't finished it yet. Directed by Oliver Stone. Cool guy who definitely has good opinions on the Russian government.
Can't tell if you're being serious or not.
Not.
Okay, this is a film by Mark Forster.
Yep, Finding Neverland.
I
saw that in the cinema.
Oh.
Honk. Shoo.
Honk. You give it 3 stars.
I'm going to correct that.
We got a bit of JD.
I mean, it's not a 3-star film. There's nothing wrong with it. It's Johnny Depp, Kate Winslet, Dustin Hoffman, Julie Christie. It's about J.M. Barrie writing Peter Pan. At one point, they go, Kate Winslet, she's sick. She starts coughing up blood, and then she dies in 5 minutes.
Which is unfortunate, given that the Good Doctor was there at the time.
The Good Doctor's in it, and he got cast in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory based on his performance in that. Yeah. Because him and Johnny Depp do have, like, pretty good, like... good dynamic together.
That's a pairing. Next up, British sequel to
Bridget Jones' The Edge of Reason.
Yeah.
Never seen, no interest. Hate Renée Zellweger. She sucks. Yeah, put her in a film with Jamie Curtis.
We'll go 2 more just because we mentioned them the last day.
Go a few more, please. I'm so good at this.
Okay, we're up to number 10 already.
Yeah, because I love 2004.
Okay, number 10 features music.
We're up to number 10 already.
Yeah.
Number 10 features music.
Yeah.
Features music. Ray. Best actor winner.
Yeah. Next we have starring another Oscar winner.
From that year.
No, not from this year. Potentially nominated this year. This is this actor's other most known performance.
Oh. Is it DiCaprio?
No.
Is it... I don't know who that would be.
Okay. It involves wine.
Oh, Sideways.
Yeah.
He's not an Oscar winner.
Giamatti's an Oscar winner.
When the fuck did Paul Giamatti win an Oscar, sir? He lost to Cillian Murphy this year.
Sorry, he won an IFTA.
Very famously. He won an IFTA.
Oh, whoops.
They both won an IFTA.
I don't... In my head, Paul Giamatti won Best Supporting Actor this year.
No, Best Supporting Actor was Robert Downey Jr.
Sorry, he won the IFTA.
He won the IFTA for International Actor.
I think he just got so much hype
beforehand.
It
is kind of funny that the only awards where Giamatti wasn't competing with Cillian Murphy were the Golden Globes, where they split it into comedy and drama, and the IFTAs, where they split it into Irish and everyone else.
Oppenheimer was such a wash for everything that I don't acknowledge that it won everything in Oscar season.
It is a shame that Giamatti didn't win. Like, as in, they both deserved it, you know?
Yeah.
You should have given two of them out.
Yeah. Give everyone an Oscar.
Yeah. That's what Jimmy Kimmel said when they fucked up with the envelope.
Just give them both
an Oscar. He said, why don't they give them
both
both an Oscar? And according to the book that I'm currently reading, Michael Schulman's Oscar Wars, Jordan Horowitz, the producer of La La Land, was like, no way is it going to be good optics if they give a bunch of us white people a shared Oscar with the black movie just because somebody fucked up and read something out wrong.
Yeah.
Don't give us an Oscar. That would be so stupid. We didn't win. I agree.
Yeah, they didn't win.
That's a stupid thing for him to say. Anyway, he was kind of joking.
It's great it happened that way, not the other way
around.
It
is great. Oh, like if it happened the other way around.
And
disaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what this book says. It says, thank God it was not black hands handing the Oscar to white hands, like, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think Moonlight's probably better anyway.
Moonlight is better, yeah. All right.
Okay. Oh,
give me 2 more. We're only at 45 minutes now, so.
After the Sunset.
Yeah, that's a Russell Crowe, Ridley Scott.
Okay, I'm just going to name the films. You can.
That's another wine movie. Oh, sorry, no, it's not. After the Sunset is like a Pierce Brosnan is a retired heist man movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, he was doing retired movies in 2004?
Yeah, newly retired, but yeah.
I feel like he's just perpetually retired now.
He wasn't old enough to be doing that.
No, not a chance.
He was 50. Like.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know.
He was like 4 years older than Clive Owen.
I guess he's just retired because he's rich, not because he's old.
Yeah. Ex-Bond, I guess. The Grudge.
Yeah.
Saw.
Yeah.
Shall We Dance, Kinsey.
Shall We Dance is a fun boy party.
Seed of Chucky.
It's Gear, Lopez, Sarandon.
Napoleon Dynamite, Friday Night Lights. That'll do. I'm not
Napoleon
going to
Dynamite is a great movie. Underrated somehow in 2024.
Really?
I feel like now the perception is that Napoleon Dynamite was like a stupid, quirky thing that kids liked in 2004. And I'm like, no, Napoleon Dynamite's
I thought you'd be
very funny and clever.
Strongly anti-Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite's a movie where if you gave them all New Zealand accents, I would hate it.
Yeah.
But because they're American, I think it's good.
Interesting.
If that was a Taika Waititi film and the script was the exact same, well, I would say it was trash.
But I thought
I'm a hypocrite.
I thought it's one of these that like people found too funny and that you just in a contrarian basis.
But I was there. I was one of those people.
Oh, okay.
Like I was on that one early.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, allow it.
I'll allow it. Thank you for tuning in to Boy Party, everybody. We hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about the most exciting movie of all time.
Hope you feel closer to us.
This is going to be a real 4 listens episode.
Yeah, if you want to join our little love square, please contact
send
us.
Messages.
Yeah.
If there's only one of you, then we can get our little toy friend Bachelor involved. He's a little turtle. Who
Actually,
sits
no.
in our house
Yeah,
smiling.
and if we're still short another one, we can just contact our best friend Natalie Portman.
Yeah, exactly.
She will come and join us.
Yeah, she clearly likes Irishmen because she's hanging out with Paul Mescal in London. Visit boypartypod.com for all episodes of the show. You can follow it on Boy Party Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you feel closer to us, closer to yourselves. Get home safe from the Boy Party, and we'll tell you when the next one is on. Bye-bye.